Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining me for the Work Health Safety Risk Management Process meeting. I really appreciate your time to attend this meeting online just to go through the proposed risk management process. I'm joined with Helen, who's my one of our advisors, and I'm also joined with Nathan, who is representing the technical and operational worker for this consultation. So what I'll do, guys, is I'm going to share the screen. I've emailed you all copies of the document for you to review, but also for simplicity, I'm going to share my screen so we can look at it together. Okay, can everybody see my screen?
Yes.
Thank you. All right. So look, with the risk management process, it's essentially a four, I guess you could say, four main step process that we've done. I'll go through the first part of the risk management steps. So step one being identify hazards. So in terms of the techniques or methods on how to complete this step, I've done a five-step process. So step one, it's just stating that hazards arise in the following aspects of work, being physical, environment, equipment, materials, substances, work tasks, work design and management. Step two would then be inspecting the workplace using an inspection checklist to systematically and comprehensively find the hazards. Step three would be consulting with workers to see if they have encountered any hazards and record them. And step four would be reviewing the information from the Hydra reporting system from the identified hazards submitted by the workers. And step five would be reviewing Safe Work New South Wales Common Hazards Library. Tools and resources that we're going to use would be the hazard inspection checklist, Hydra reporting system, established codes of practice, online surveys, Safe Work New South Wales, and hazard library. For the duty holders responsible, I've included the PCBU, officers, and workers. So this would be our first step in the identify hazards step. Do you guys have any feedback or have any suggestions that we need to make, or are you guys happy with this?
At this stage, happy with that.
Yeah, you're happy with that, Nathan, as well?
Yeah, sounds good.
Terrific. All right. Now, the next step in the risk management process is the assess risks. So what I've done is I've said for each hazard that we've identified in the above step, we need to conduct a risk assessment by following the below steps, which is a five-step process as well. So step one would be determine how severe the risk is using the risk matrix. Step two would be determine if the existing control measures are effective in eliminating or minimizing the risk. Step three would be to generate possible control measures to control the risk. Step four would be determine the urgency of implementing those control measures for that identified risk. And step five would be consulting with workers with the risk assessment that we've done and gather their feedback. Tools and resources for this one would just be our risk matrix and our Hydra reporting system. And for duty holders, it would just be the PCBU and officers. So that's what I put down. Did any of you guys have any suggestions or feedback you want to make for this one?
I would suggest in step four that you use the matrix to work out the likelihood and severity of the incident. So use the matrix there. And then for your duty holders, you should include workers as well, because workers are also required to be responsible.
All right. That's good. I'm going to add that now. So workers for the next version. All right. So step four, use the risk matrix to assist with determining the urgency, and for duty holders, adding workers as part of that. Was there any other feedback for this step besides those two?
That looks good to me.
You happy with that, Nathan?
Mm-hmm.
How about you, Helen? Anything else besides those two?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay. Now, the next one I've got here would be the control risks. So with the risk management step controlling risks, I've said for each hazard and its completed risk assessment, we need to follow the below steps. And this one's a 4-step process. Step 1 would be to consult with workers about your proposed control measures generated in step 3, which was done above. Seek feedback from the workers. And then step 2, modify control measures based on the feedback received. Step 3, apply the hierarchy of control to the proposed risk control measures. Step 4, implement the control measures for the identified hazards and risks. In terms of tools and resources and documents to be used, I've just included the hierarchy of control, surveys, online meeting, as well as meeting rooms. And the duty holders, I've put down PCBU, officers, and workers for responsibilities. Did any of you two have any feedback for this step?
Yeah, I had a couple concerns. So when you say in step 1, consult with workers about your proposed control measures, is this going, face to face, or are we doing it via online means, like a survey? How are you gonna consult with them and provide or receive feedback from them exactly?
Yeah, it's a good one. Look, I'm thinking what we normally should do, or what we normally do, I haven't included, is we usually put online surveys. It's just something that's easier and accessible for workers to do in their own time on their own devices. So what we could do for step 1, I'll just put an example. So example, this can be done through online survey. Is that what you meant, Nathan?
Yeah, something like that. Well, I'm just wondering how exactly we're going to be doing it.
Yeah, look, we'll do maybe first line being online surveys sent to workers to gather their feedback. Yeah, we can adjust that.
And also, just with step 3, it says apply the hierarchy of control to propose risk control measures. I think it might be a bit more appropriate to put this as step 1 instead. So it kind of just shift it before everything else. I think that might be a bit better in terms of managing it.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I'll include that. That sounds good. So this step should be done first as step 1.
Yeah, something like that.
So basically apply the hierarchy of controls first so you're basically, how I understand what you're suggesting is when we generate the controls, that we should be applying the hierarchy of controls to that and using the highest one and then consulting workers about that. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think that'd be a bit more.
All right. Yeah. Not a problem. I'll make those adjustments for that one. Helen, did you have anything to add for control risks?
Well, for example, like, how are you going to get them to do the feedback and all that? You're going to use online, or it's going to be manual suggestion?
Yeah. So Nathan suggested online survey, so I think we'll stick with the online survey because it's just something more easy and accessible for staff to do on their own devices. Did you want to suggest manual, like paper forms as well?
No, if it's easier for people to access online, online's fine.
All right, we'll leave it as online then, and then obviously we'll consult with the Health Safety Committee as well. But for the time being, I'll just leave it as online survey for step 1. Okay. Is everyone happy with control risks? Any other feedback? Everyone's happy with the feedback I've given? Excellent. All right. Now we'll move on to the next last step for our risk management process, the monitor, controls, and review steps. So I said, look, once the control measures have been implemented, we follow the below steps to review those controls. So step 1, check for hazards using the steps in the identified hazards section above. Step 2, check if new problems have arisen after implementing the control measures. Step 3, check if workers are following the safety procedures. Step 4, check the incident register to see if the frequency and or the severity of injury have decreased. Step 5, review work health safety legislations and codes of practice to confirm control measures are compliant. And step 6, consult with workers for feedback and any concerns. And so in terms of tools and resources for this, I've included Hydra, First Aid Register, Injury Register, Work Health Safety Act, Work Health Safety Regulations, and Code of Practice. And duty holders, I've put down PCBU and officers. Did you, Helen or Nathan, have any feedback you wanted to add for this part of the risk management process?
I was just thinking duty holders, perhaps you should include the workers as well, because it's everybody's.
Yeah, I definitely we'll do that, include workers. So I'll just add that edit there, highlight that. All right, so I'll make adjustments to add for the duty holders to also add workers because it's also a consultative step. All right. How about you, Nathan? Did you have any suggestions?
No, everything looks good to me. Yeah, seems fine.
Excellent. And Helen, did you have any other suggestions besides workers, or was that everything from you?
That's everything from me.
Oh, excellent. All right. Well, that's basically our risk management process. Thank you guys for your feedback and suggestions. I've made those notes in the document right here, as you can see. So we can review that. Was there anything we've missed that you guys wanted to add before we conclude this consultation?
No.
That sounds good to me.
All right. Well, thank you so much, guys. What I'll do is I'll just end this screen share. All right. So, look, thank you so much for attending the meeting and providing your feedback and suggestions. I've made note of those from, your point of view as the advisor, Helen, and Nathan, your point of view as the operational technical worker. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to save that document. I'll email a copy of those to you guys, and I'll also send that off to the Health and Safety Committee, as well as to the PCBU and officers for further consultation and adjustments before this is implemented. But yeah, thank you guys for attending.
Right, perfect. Sounds good.
All right, thank you. I'll just end the recording now.
Thank you.